Atletico Madrid won, Manchester United won. A decent result in Madrid. Not really a great performance, though. Stephen Howson joins me. Give me thoughts on that game, because it's a result I'd take, but a performance that I think needs to improve.
Yeah, I think you take... if I'd have texted you this morning and said, Joe, hey, just so you know, we're drawing 1-1 today, you'd have gone like that. Okay, cool. I'll take that. But we probably should have lost 3 or 4-1, shouldn't we?
Yeah, probably. It was one of them where I just sort of thought, if they'd have tried a bit more, if they'd have pushed a bit harder, been a bit more front foot, I feel like they would have got more goals. It felt like they attacked about 4 times and hit the post or hit the crossbar twice and scored a goal. Were you surprised that they didn't come after us a bit more after that sort of initial success?
Yeah, proper. I thought that they kind of dominated everywhere they were on the pitch. They had so many men in every area of the pitch. There's one point I had to count on the telly, like, how many fucking players have they got here? Why can I see the whole of their team in this one shot? They're a fascinating team to watch, Atletico. You know, they work so hard off the ball. It's weird. It's weird how well drilled they are. Yet they give you a chance. The pre-match analysis that we was looking at, you were like, if you get 2 shots, there's a good chance one of them's going in, the way All Blacks playing this season. He was shit for Elanga's goal, and the only other save he had was like Jesse Lingard basically passed him one in injury time. Outside of that, we didn't have any shots. If we have some shots at home, I'm certain we can go through against him, because I don't know what's up with him at the minute. He's absolutely gash.
It's weird that as well, isn't it? Because he's been like in the conversation for best goal in the world for the last, not decade, but certainly sort of half a dozen years or so. And like, there was a point where he had more clean sheets than goals conceded at Atletico Madrid. I guess that's gone now. But like, that was after multiple years being there. They aren't the team that they were last season or that they have been, but like I said about their off-the-ball stuff, you see what it does when you have a consistent vision, a consistent manager for not just 2 or 3 years, but 10 years. They're so incredibly well drilled, aren't they? Looking at United, I don't want this all to be negative, obviously, because we'll come to Elanga in a minute, but looking at those key players for United, I think you look through the back of the team, Varane, Pogba, Bruno, Ronaldo, Rashford, all these sort of, big name players. Obviously, Varane didn't have a particularly bad game, but I don't think he was at his best. But the rest of them, no one had a good game for United of those big players today, did they? Were you surprised that we sort of got away with it almost?
I don't even think you need to say of the good player or the big name players. I don't think anybody had a good game. I think you could just leave it at that, full stop, move on. I don't think anyone who had a good game.
I mean,
who on the pitch, who that started had a good game.
De Gea did all right. I mean, yeah. To be honest, I don't think Maguire had a terrible game, but no one really stood out particularly. Like I said, of the starters, I wouldn't have thought any.
Maguire, have you watched the game?
Well, I didn't think he gave. He didn't give the ball away as much as Bruno. He wasn't as anonymous as Pogba or Ronaldo, and he wasn't caught out of position as often as Varane. I don't think he had a good game, but I'm saying I don't think he had a bad
probably
game.
Most of the ball for United.
Yeah,
I would say he was a large part of the reason why United couldn't progress the ball, because he's taking 3-4 touches. Centre half. You should know your 2 free options. He's got to pass it to 3 players on the fucking pitch. You should know where those 3 players are. It should come into his feet and it should get popped out. Or, how's about this? You cost £80 fucking million, Harry. Have you got more than a 5-yard pass in your fucking locker? We're playing against a team that has an extremely compressed team from front to back. If they're pressing you, it means their line is high. How about Bosch one over the top for someone like Marcus Rashford to run onto, or Jadon Sancho to run onto, or even that 37-year-old fella up front that didn't see the ball at all tonight. Like, wasn't acceptable. And that's not just to say Harry Maguire gets the shit. Varane didn't do it either. None of them did it. None of them have got an adventurous pass in their fucking system. None of them. And that's mentality, because it's not ability. Now, you get him on the training pitch tomorrow morning and say, do me a favour, just bing a 50-yarder for us. You do it with his fucking dick out.
Are you surprised that, you mentioned Rashford there, obviously didn't really get much of the ball. Sancho, actually, I thought, looking back at your comment before, was maybe one of our better players from the start, but again, didn't really do a lot.
But it wasn't good.
No, exactly. Didn't do a lot. Ronaldo barely touched the ball. The only time he seemed to touch the ball was when he dropped deep, and then he wasn't in the box for when we eventually sort of got the ball in the box. Things did change, though, when we made the subs. I thought Matic looked pretty good. I thought he shored things up very well. Tellez did more in 20 minutes than Luke, or 30 minutes than Luke Shaw did all night, actually trying to go past his man and get the ball in the box. It's the subs again. Obviously, Elanga coming on. The subs again did it for United, and Elanga, 1 chance, 1 goal. Are you surprised that it took that long, or were you waiting, right, it's going to take some subs here because this just isn't working at the minute?
I didn't think we were going to do it.
Yeah.
I just thought we were just going to slide into oblivion, in all honesty. So I'm pleased we're still in the fight. I'm getting back to Old Trafford, different day, different settings, different mentality, different outcome, hopefully. Like I said, the one thing that you've got, and we sort of only touched on it earlier, and I meant to follow up on it. They're not at the races, but every other metric is pretty much the same for them. I think they might have even scored more this year than last year, or if they've not, it's in the ballpark. They're still as dangerous going forward, but they now concede goals. That's the only thing that's changed for them. And literally, you've had Oblak go from being statistically one of the most deadly keepers in the world to fucking below average, well below average. So that's the only thing that's changed, and I have no idea what's changed with him. A bit like Marcus. Marcus is way below average at the moment. I wouldn't have started him tonight, and I wouldn't start him until he can prove that he's got something in his locker coming off the bench a few times. I don't know how you could drop Elanga for him at the moment. But yeah, I mean, Sancho was all right, I guess, but you know, none of them did anything. And yes, the substitution. I thought Matic again looked like our best midfielder. Certainly the one who you go, oh, that's actually what a number 6 is meant to do.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what we've not had. We haven't had anyone that goes, I'm a number 6 and I'll play it. You've had someone go, can you play number 6? And they go, yeah, I think I can, yeah. And then go and play number 6. But no one's actually a number 6. I just said on my live there, what I do with Matic now is I'll say, do you know what? There's a couple of tickets. Go to the museum tomorrow. You have a nice day. Yeah. Maybe take a trip out to the beach. Go and get a bit of sun on your back in February. Go and have a nice time. And then you come back to work the Monday before the second leg and you can play in that game. How's about that? You just have a couple of weeks off and we'll see you then. Have a good one. Because Matic is our best midfielder. The problem is, well, he's probably not going to play for another month.
Yeah, and like 30 minutes maybe is all he's got in his locker. Maybe you sort of you struggle to 60 minutes and then get him on to shore things up. The one thing worth mentioning, well, two things actually. One is the next game isn't for 3 weeks. So we've got potential for injuries, potential for form to change, potential for all sorts of things to happen in the meantime. But on the other hand, there's potential for United to see this as a wake-up call, because I think we like you said, it's a result we would have taken, but a performance that if we replicate that and they are desperate, Atletico become desperate or they need a goal, or, if they push on and they win, they go through, I think we'll see a different outcome in 3 weeks. Do you think they'll see this and go, fucking hell, we've not played anyone good in about 2 months. There's a level that we need to jump up to here if we want a chance of actually beating these over 2 legs?
No. Because I think in between now and then, we're probably going to have our arse handed to us a couple of times. Luckily, you've got Spurs imploding. I'm so fucking glad we didn't get Conte. He's absolutely shit the bed tonight in his interview post-match. And it's a good job they're shit, because they're probably going to really help us get into that 4th spot, and we're going to need some help, because I don't think we're capable of doing it on our own. It's Watford this weekend. Then I think it's Spurs. You might be able to pick up 6 points in those. After that, I don't think... I couldn't sit here and tell you, yeah, Joe, we'll get a result against City and Liverpool, because both of them City have just lost, so forget beating them for a minute. And then Liverpool just look ridiculous at the moment. So me sitting here and telling you that we'll get a result, we haven't seen United do what we did under Ollie, where we play on the counter yet. We haven't done that. With Ralph, we've kind of been working on plan A a little bit, haven't we? So we haven't seen United develop or utilize a plan B at all. And I wouldn't have even said tonight we were so lucky not to lose 4-1. Like, they hit the bar twice. Yeah. Like, we could have been absolutely rodded tonight. So I don't think this is an idea that we could, we're not playing like, Marcus, when we used to go to City and get a game, Marcus was on fire in those games and he was perfect in those matches. And he looks like he is as far away from that as I am from that. Yeah. There looks like there's not a prayer that we can go and put that sort of performance in. Could Bruno and Sancho maybe combine? And Ronaldo's always got something in his locker that he might be able to pull out. And if Cavani decides he fancies a game, then maybe he could do it. If Pogba gets his tail up, he could do it. But the rest of the team can't hold there's zero belief this United team knows how to keep a clean sheet. Zero. So when I look at the likes of that Liverpool game and I look at that City game, we're going to get fucking mullered in both of those games, more than likely. And then we've got Atletico. So we'll have had. We'll have had so many fucking wake-up calls. We won't be able to sleep. I don't think that's going to be an issue by the time we play them. What I hope we see it as is a way to get back on track with a good performance in front of a rowdy Old Trafford crowd, because we've been. I think City's away in it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they beat us at home. City and Liverpool are both away. Yeah, that's
going to be a game at home in front of the Old Trafford crowd. That might be needed, in all honesty, and I do think we're capable of beating them at home. They should have dicked us tonight, but they didn't. They did have quite a lot of their better players missing, but they didn't twat us. They didn't give us a C and 2. We're still in the hunt, and you hope that there's some lessons to be learned, and hopefully Ralph learns a couple of lessons about maybe who to trust, who not to trust. I think he might have tried to shoehorn Lindelof into the team today because he's been playing well. I don't think he played particularly well at right back. But just get a fucking set of balls, tell Harry Maguire to fucking go sit this one out, drop Luke Shaw, and you're probably going to be fucking halfway in it. Those two are just absolutely sleeping at the wheel.
Yeah.
Like the defensive awareness from those two. You said you didn't think Harry Maguire played too bad. Harry Maguire got the runaround fucking miles away for that first goal.
I thought it was a good. I thought it was a good run, though. In fairness, and a very good header.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
but they spoke about it on the analysis. Fred slipping doesn't help because he runs in a bit too giddy, and that's Fred, isn't it?
Yeah.
Luke Shaw's his man. Luke Shaw doesn't pass him on to Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire reacts too late. You don't let people in pasture. We saw fucking Mo Salah do it to him time and time again in that 5-0 defeat at home. Like, you don't let them do that at the front post. You do not let someone get in the front post of you. You got to get across them. You got to use your body, and you got to do that. He reacts too late. He's too fucking slow. All right, João Felix is a quick player, but it wasn't good enough. This is an £80 million centre-half. I expect fucking levels better than what we're getting out of him. He's meant to be getting his head on winning those things. João Felix about fucking 5'4".
Yeah, the reaction wasn't there, was it?
And he's getting across us and beating us at the front post. It's not acceptable.
No.
I thought in possession he was fucking boring and ordinary and obvious. Like there wasn't a spark of ingenuity from him. There wasn't one where he's like, let me just try and fucking hit one into the channel. And I know that people might go, well, what's the game plan? The game plan with Ralph is quite vertical. I don't think he'd have had a drama with that. If you try 3 and 4 and they all miss, then yeah, he might have a fucking word with you. But if you try one, it nearly comes off. No manager's going to say to you, fucking hell you doing? You're going to be like, oh, not a bad idea, that.
Yeah. And quickly, it's worth mentioning Elanga as well, obviously, because we've gone through the team of players who didn't play well. Didn't really have that much to do, but being in front of Oblak, I know he's not the goalie he was or whatever. He still stood in front of one of the great goalkeepers of the last decade, putting that ball past him. One chance, one goal. Brilliant night for him, that, innit?
I think he missed it,
Yeah. Do you think I wasn't sure whether he sort of played across it a bit to get it in the corner or whether he scuffed it.
I think he's hit his heel with it a little bit, but who gives a fuck? It went in.
Yeah. Yeah. Good for him, innit? Good night for him.
I think Elanga's the epitome of attitude and work rate and mentality. And I honestly think that's such a big attribute for a player and for a team, especially when you've got a team which full of mad asses like United is at the moment. Ralph come out after the game and he said, he's like a role model. I wish more people had his sort of mentality. You got to listen to what the manager's saying there. There was zero hype about Elanga. Zero. He was a solid academy player, but nobody was telling you that he was a world-class superstar that's going to be scoring goals in the fucking Champions League for United and as a teenager. Nobody. But Ralph came in, he worked his balls off, made Ralph go, who's the kid? And then every time he's given him his opportunity, this is the way that you grab an opportunity that I was sort of saying, why couldn't Donny van der Beek grab the opportunity that he's been offered like this? Why couldn't Tony Martial grab the opportunity that he's been offered like this? And the excuse that always came back was, he needs a run of games. He needs a run of games. How can you expect him to grab an opportunity without a run of games? What run of games has Anthony Elanga had? He's been asked to come in and do a job, and he's absolutely delivered. And I don't know what the ceiling is for him. I don't suspect it's that high, to be honest. He might have like a Makeda-style drop-off following this. He might come in, smash it for a little bit, because he's probably not getting a lot of responsibilities on him. But I know that that's a lot of how it works. This is what happened with Januzaj. Amazing first season because you're told to go out and play, usually as a first year in the first team. In your second year, depending who the manager is, and unfortunately for Januzaj, it was Louis van Gaal, who kind of likes his players to know what they're doing a little bit. And he was like, I want you to do the following. And Januzaj thick as fuck, so he couldn't understand it. And that's why he got launched. Now, if the same sort of thing, I don't know if Elanga is thick or if he's an intelligent footballer. I have no insight into that whatsoever. But typically, a young lad's probably gone on and told, go and enjoy yourself, express yourself, and see if you can have an impact on the game. Well, Elanga's having an impact on the game. Right now, he's ahead of Rashford for me. Right now, he starts and Marcus has to sit out. But Marcus came in and stole someone's place like this. Not a lot of players managed to get their first team opportunity the way like Greenwood got his. He was like deliberately put in and taken out, and there was like a development plan for him. 99% of youth players have to come in and steal someone else's job. And Elanga at the moment could steal someone's job. And even if he doesn't end up being world class, and even if he doesn't end up being, as good as a 40, 50 million pound signing, right now he's productive. Right now the manager's having him. Right now he's got the right temperament, the right attitude. And right now should be the first name on the team sheet for United because nobody else, Sancho aside maybe, nobody else is in anything like good form. But him and Sancho are as close to it as anyone.
Nice one, and exactly right as well, and good to see him doing so. United with a good result there then. Cheers, Steve, for joining us. Like I said, we would have taken the result at the start of the day. The performance wasn't what we wanted, but you know what? That's the result. The result is all that matters, and United have got a 1-1, and any win at Old Trafford will put United through. Thank you for joining us. If you aren't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button and like the video as well, and we'll see you in a bit.